Mic check. 1, 2. This is a public service announcement brought to you by the good people over at Rockefeller Records.
Okay.
Yo, okay, real quick before we really get this going. Who is like when you think of like some of the best opening verse, like first verse rappers, who comes to your mind? Someone that you know if they start this song off, it's a problem for everyone who follow.
Uh, Drake. I think Drake is a good opener.
Mm.
But the problem is,
But you don't know. It depends on what Drake you get. Like if you get
Yeah.
spicy Drake, like my man Travis just got, oh, that shit
You
going
know-
straight to the top.
you know who's the perfect? Rick Ross. Rick Ross will give you a strong verse. He will not overpower you. Like he's not going to outshine you on your own track. He's going to give you solid bars. He's going to play his part, and he's going to be Rick Ross. Rick Ross for me.
Rick Ross Glass. What about you?
See, I hate myself, but I'm gonna have to go Eminem.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Hey, yo. You be bumping the new Eminem?
Yeah, I hate myself for saying it out loud and for acknowledging it. But
What
I
is
feel like
it?
Tuesday
what
is confession day, and that is my confession. We need
What is-
music.
What is it about Eminem?
Okay,
Is it,
like
is it the hatred towards his mother? Is it the
it's the hatred towards generally white girls that I like.
Okay.
That he just like, if you listen,
It'd be his
to
own. It'd be his own women that he be getting about here.
exactly, and he has no problem, and his mom too, because his mom's white. But he has no problem, like just spewing it out. But he
Yeah.
knows not to do it towards women of color.
Yeah, because he knows.
He
Because
knows, and I like that about a man. I like it when a man knows his lane and he knows what he can say and knows what he can't say, and he
That's
just
true. Facts.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Because the sister's not putting up with that. It's a really hot
Exactly.
coffee pot. They not putting up with that.
exactly.
Like, man, get that shit out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Get out of it.
It's
Yeah.
a really hot coffee pot. Nah. Everyone's always like, "Oh, that's from that one cipher." Like, no, dog. When I think of memorable Eminem bars, you got "Mom's Ready," "Palm Spaghetti" up in there. Then you got "It's a Really Hot Coffee Pot," and then you got "Lose Yourself." Like, all right, like
we're going to talk about this later, but it seems like he's worn the same outfit for like the past 15 years. Like it's always all. That's all he has.
Not saucy.
Yeah.
We don't listen. Eminem is too barsy to be a saucy dresser. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, Drake has bars and he's saucy. Wayne is saucy.
Yeah, but Drake a little light skin in him.
Yeah.
Drake got a light skin.
That Canadian part.
I would
that's that
challenge
Canadian
you
part
on
showing
Wayne
out.
being saucy because Wayne has some of the worst fits I've ever seen. From
Yes, he does.
Like,
But he can pull it off because he's Wayne.
Yeah. But
How about
Eminem,
Rick Ross is a little saucy?
Rick Ross be swaggy though for a big dude.
Yeah.
For a big dude, he is
And he
fly.
got bars.
And he got bars. But you can't mention Rick Ross and Lil Wayne in the same category as Eminem when it comes to dressing. Like Wayne's out there because he's out there because he's Wayne. Rick Ross be fly.
Yes.
Eminem just be waking up and putting something on, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I started listening to? I meant to tell you this before, and then we'll jump in. So I started listening to Tyler the Creator on Sunday. Like I started from Flower Boy and just went. I am sorry, Tyler. I was not familiar with your game.
That's when his records became a little more commercial. Go back and listen to that stuff that was getting him.
Nope, I'm not listening to Goblin. I remember when he debuted. And he had that video with that cockroach, and I said, "What the?"
But that song fly though. Like
No,
he got
it's not.
some. Go back and listen to not the one before Flower Boy. It's It's the one before. It's the one before Flower Boy. The one with the cover is the wet stains in the pants.
Nope.
It's fly though.
Nope.
He got a song. He got
I
a
am
song
Flower
on there.
Boy and on.
Cherry Bomb. That's what I'm thinking of. Cherry Bomb. Go back and listen to Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb has some.
Call me when you get lost.
He got a song. Speaking of Wayne, he got a song with him, Kanye, and Wayne. This is before the Christianity run by Kanye. This when Wayne was still Wayne was still doing Wayne things. This was the tail end of Tyler really talking that crazy shit. So that record's fly.
I don't know, man. I've like I said, Flower Boy. Like Call Me When You Get Lost to me is like him spitting. Like he just spitting for the whole album. The other two are very commercial. I don't want to go back in time. I remember when he debuted and I was like, yo, what the fuck am I listening to?
He was out there, but he had to separate himself.
Like,
I will say in terms of first verses, my answer was 1 J. Cole and 2 Jadakiss. Honorable mention to push for third.
Dog.
Push starting off your record could be some trouble if he really in that mode.
But see, that's the problem though. If you have a rapper that out raps you on your own song in the first verse and you can't recover, like that's hard.
Hey, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes, sometimes you send man's the verse. He come back with something that you just was not expecting. You're not deleting that verse. You got to keep that on there. You better hope you can get in your bag on your second and third verse.
Yeah, that's what
most of the time they send the record over with like one verse on there. Hey, bro, go ahead, hop on this. Or they're just send the beat over. Hey, bro, this is what I'm thinking. You start this thing off. I mean, they come back. You was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that.
Like, it was another good one. ASAP Rocky. ASAP Rocky is not. He gonna give you a couple, but he's not gonna outshine you on your own track. And that's what the feature's all about. I gotta see ASAP. Listen, ASAP was one of my favorite rappers. I gotta see him outperforming someone on their own record for me to believe in that. That's what I'm saying. That you get someone who does not outshine you.
But then there's no fun in it. If you're a rapper's rapper, I'm saying you invite them killers. When DJ Khaled went to Wayne and Ross and said, "Yo, God did put something on it," then you know who he gave it to last? Jay-Z. You know,
don't make rappers like that no more.
Oh, this how we coming? Watch this. 2 minutes straight bars.
They don't
Wayne
make
mad as
like
hell. Like, damn, Khaled, you ain't even let me know that's the direction the song was going. I know Wayne was mad too. Ross was probably like, hey, it's Jay. Wayne was like, man, I probably had a little something more for him if you would have. We're gonna talk about that later. Knowing when to bow out of that fight and when to just take it on head first. Spence Crawford. Whew, that's one of them examples. That is one of them examples. Ladies and gentlemen, though, welcome to episode 110 of Speak On It. I know. I am the bro with the mini fro, and when I speak, you know I am on go mode.
Okay.
Whoa.
Joined here, per usual, by my man, Danny Ocean. Let the people know.
Good evening. I got nothing for that.
We have a special guest. Not too long ago, we were on her pod. We were brainstorming for the episode this week, and we knew since we were previewing the AFC West that this person would be the perfect person to bring on to speak on it. We have the lovely Miss Gladys on. How's it going, Gladys?
Gentlemen, how are you? I'm good. I'm very, very good. Confession Tuesday on your show. I can't think of what I like better. Okay, I'm sorry, slight segue. Watching the WNBA. Yep. When did it come all about the clothes that they wear when they walk in? When did that start?
We're going to talk about WNBA later. Yeah, okay, that's their calling card. That's their calling card is that there are like 2 Twitter accounts that are just dedicated to fits from
to
WNBA
their
players.
Oh, I mean,
yeah, they have a deal with Google where it tells you where they got their clothes from and it gives you like alternatives. So if you want to dress like them, like if you're a little kid
on a cheaper level,
like it'll give you.
It's
like
definitely a marketing ploy, especially if you happen to work for like one of the brands that these athletes are sponsored by. It's a good way to make sure that the most latest and innovative styles are being shown. That's a good place,
So who is it helping more, the WNBA or the clothing apparels?
A little bit of both.
I would say both.
It can't be both. One of them has to have an advantage.
I think WNBA because it gets
WNBA?
more. Okay. I think it gets more eyes on their outfits, and you can tell that players put thought into their outfits. Same as the NBA, it's just the WNBA has taken it a step further and gotten like a collab with Google to help people buy the clothes that they wear.
I would say both because in the same way that Danny mentioned that you were helping the league, you could also look at it in the same way that you're helping the clothing apparel brand. Like, yes, you're bringing more eyes to the superstars of that league. But the next question that I imagine consumers would have once they see these fits is, what exactly are they wearing? If it's some fly shit, which is the goal of these tunnel walks, then you want to try to see, okay, well, they're wearing Nike or Adidas. Okay, well, historically, that brand isn't too expensive. I might be able to shop that look. Maybe I like the top. Maybe I can go buy the top. Maybe they got a matching outfit on.
But what's the demographic here?
Young
fans of, I would say fans of basketball, basketball fans, trendy fashionista fans. I would say probably that teenager
watching NBA though.
But they'll watch the tunnel. They'll go on Instagram to see the fits.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay,
but the NBA. Funny. I would say sports in general, they just garner larger audiences than we kind of anticipate, because there's multiple reasons why someone could be watching any sport. There are the true fanatics of the sport. There are the true fanatics of certain players, true fanatics of certain teams. And then there's just true fanatics of storylines and all the gossipy shit. And I kind of see fashionistas and fashion in the storylines and gossip and shit. You wouldn't believe, I bet there are players who root against Jokic just because he's not swaggy. And there are other players who are like, yo, this guy is technically one of the best big men ever. Like, I don't care if he comes to work in a t-shirt and jeans. He's fly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, if you have time though, follow each or check out each individual WNBA teams, because like those Twitter accounts get the best. Like, it's funny when you see the rookies come in and they're just wearing like leggings and some dusty Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
And the team is like, look at Maddie today. And it's like, oh no, she dusty. She's dusty as fuck. Get this off my timeline.
That's true. As someone who follows the Lakers and their socials pretty closely, like when they do like the little fit checks before they get on the charter planes, you be seeing some of the guguys like, damn, that shit, Maddox, that shit fly. Okay, Bron.
Yeah, and then you see some dudes.
Yo, Bron be fly.
Granted, he's LeBron.
It's Bron. Bron be fly. And then you see like a rookie or like someone who hasn't got that second contract yet. They just got on like the Nike Tech Fleece suit.
Yep.
They got the Nike Tech Fleece suit with the Travis Scott Air Force Ones. Like,
no, you know what they have on? They have on the Laker issue, the free Nike Tech suit with the Travis Scott ones on.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. That should
I
still
ain't
be
mad
nice.
at him.
That should still be nice. That should still be nice. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have a jam-packed show. We're going to start off with a lot of NFL talk. We're going to talk about what's going on in Indianapolis, the beef that might be happening between Denver and the Jets. Newsflash, they do play each other this year, people, so that game's going to be funny. We're going to then preview the AFC West later. So reminder, that is the Chiefs, that is the Raiders, that is the Chargers, that is the Broncos. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into the AFC West as we continue our preview of the 8 NFL seasons. And on the back end, of course, we have a good game of good deal or no deal, starting off, of course, with the biggest fight in a very long time in the world of boxing between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. We'll talk a little bit other Jerry Jones and how he's treating people, Dalvin Cook potentially to the Jets. Eagles, they dropped the Kelly Green uniforms. I know my man Danny Ocean's pretty excited about that. And mama, there goes that man out the door. Mark Jackson might be out at ESPN, so we'll discuss that. But of course, we are going to start, since it is officially August 1st, we have to start in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Irsay has made it a mission to single-handedly alienate his star running back, Jonathan Taylor. Let me remind y'all, 2 years ago, Jonathan Taylor was the undisputed RB1, and you couldn't tell anyone who was a fantasy head, who was a football head, that Jonathan Taylor was not one of the 5 best football players in the National Football League. Last year, he had a down year, dealt with some injuries. He didn't have a bad season, just not one as good as he had 2 years ago. So over the last weekend, Colts owner Jim Irsay and Jonathan Taylor met after practice to kind of clear the air. And the results of this ended up being that Jonathan Taylor ended up making his trade request from earlier this month. He made it public over the weekend. So Jim Irsay would go on to say that Jonathan Taylor could be out of the league, and he, a.k.a. Jim Irsay, could die today, and the league would move on per usual. Let me repeat. Jim Irsay said that Jonathan Taylor could be out of a job tomorrow and that he could die today and the league would go on per usual. And to top things off, ladies and gentlemen, because that was not the worst thing he said about his best offensive player, he also said that under no circumstances that he would be trading Jonathan Taylor this year and even would put him on the non-injury list after earlier this week. It was reports that came out that Jonathan Taylor had a back injury. Taylor has since said that he does not have a back injury and that these injury reports are false. So Gladys and Danny, starting with you, Gladys, I need to know what the hell is going on in Indianapolis.
Someone allowed John Irsay to take the bottle again. They said, hey, you keep drinking. You don't have to stop. Don't have to go to rehab. You keep drinking. You keep taking those pills. We're okay with that. Because there is no other explanation.
The pills in my man's jacket.
There is no other explanation.
Jim Jackets is his name.
Therefore, that man come out with that kind of statement about anyone. Even, much less his best player, but even if it was his worst player, You have an hour meeting with them, and then you come out and say, hey, you know what? I could die tomorrow. This guy could die. The league's going to go. No one fucking cares, Irsay. No one cares. All they care is that you are fucking batshit crazy. That is what the whole problem is. And people are allowing you to say whatever you want, whenever you want, no matter how ludicrous it is. This is the same man that hired the ESPN commentator for his coach last year.
Ooh, instead of going through the regular cycles. Then the guy wins one game and he starts to flex. You win one game and he flexes, and then he loses the rest of them, and you don't have anything to say. And you bring him back to try out for a coach this year. This is a man who obviously has no foothold in any kind of sanity that we know anything about. I'm glad that you mentioned him hiring Jeff Saturday, because I remember a quote that came out this weekend also that Jim Irsay said, hey, no organization treats players the way the Colts treat players. And I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, yeah, because no other organization in the National Football League will go out and hire a coach with no coaching experience. He was just an alum of your franchise that's on TV commentating. No organization is looking at that guy and saying, yeah, he could coach a National Football League team. He could coach a roster of the 53 best football players that we have in hopes of winning a championship. And your only win was against the Raiders. So
Josh McDaniels, as Kyle said.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, doesn't even count.
Danny, go ahead.
Back to what you were saying about no one treats their players better. It's like, go ask Andrew Luck's ruptured spleen how the Colts treat their players. Like, that man retired in the preseason because I'm good. I'm not shocked that a rich white man gets bent out of shape when someone who he thinks is beneath him tries to flex their power. I've said on many times, I'm always for players trying to get their money when they can. For me, I'm just shocked at all the nut hugging for Jim Irsay. Like, people like, yeah, Jim, stick it to Jonathan Taylor. Yo, what? All the office snitches right now just raising their hand willingly. Like, all these people who are backing Jim Irsay, you're the office snitch. Like, when you ever look around, it's like the person no one in the office likes and you can't figure it out. My friend, it is you. Mm-hmm. You are that person. I have never. Just the nut hugging. Like, oh yeah, Jim, he signed a contract. You're right. All right, man.
The pure audacity.
The audacity.
Well, first and foremost, shout out to Kyle, our guy, Research Kyle, for being in the chat. Another Tuesday. Love to have you here. Can't wait for you to be on soon, Kyle. So he said, what was my man's name? Jeff Saturday won one game against, let me check his notes, Josh McDaniels. Does that even count? Technically, they have professionals on their roster too, and they didn't have a coaching change. So that definitely counts.
I mean, brother, beat the Eagles.
Yeah, I know, right? Where do I start with this? Let me start with this. Ladies and gentlemen, pay your PR people more. Why do you say this, D-Mix? Because clearly, when Jim Irsay left that bathroom with a little bit of sugar under his nose, no one decided to stop him. Nope. No one decided to stop him from talking to the media or talking. First off, let me tell you something. Jim Irsay, if you didn't think you needed Jonathan Taylor in preseason practice number 4, 5, 6, or 7, I'm going to need you to see what this Colts offense looks like maybe week 3 or 4 when defensive coordinators around the league have figured out how to game plan against Anthony Richardson. They know y'all don't really have no deep or any type of passing threat for real, and they are just daring you to run the football on them. They're putting their safeties back, and they're basically saying, yo, if you think about running the football, we double the fuck dare you. You don't have your best offensive player. He's sitting at home. You got Deion Kane back there, bro. Who are your receivers? Alec Pierce? Is T.Y. Hilton?
Pittman.
Michael Pittman, you're not scaring nobody. We'll put our best corner on Michael Pittman and tell him to beat us and make a play. Are you shitting me? Come on, Jim Irsay. I don't know what you thought that Colts roster was, but it's not that. Everybody looks good against the colored and non-colored jerseys in training camp until all of a sudden your best corner is lined up one-on-one against Patrick Surtain, and your best tackle is lined up one-on-one against Aaron Donald, and you have no answer whatsoever. And for 60 minutes, you sitting there wondering, damn, I wonder if Jonathan, with the game plan would be the same if JT was out here. What are we doing? Again, I'm going to go back to a point I was making last week. These running backs are not asking for Patrick Mahomes like money. Now, I see what Jim Irsay saw. Jim Irsay is looking at what happened in New York with Saquon Barkley and saying, hey, that guy wanted $22 million and they gave him 11 with incentives. Are you saying you're better than? Are you saying that you deserve more than his 22? Well, I would say if you're Jonathan Taylor, you're looking back at your season 2 years ago and saying, yeah, I can punch up just as much as he punched up. So why can't I get 15? I bet you that's what he's saying. Yo, I'm not asking. Okay, maybe not 20, but 15? 15 with 10 guaranteed? I don't know, man. I think this goes back to what Danny was saying, that we got some privileged Caucasians in power, and they think if you're not a quarterback, why the fuck should I have to pay you? Newsflash, brother. You better pay him now and figure out your books now while you have a rookie quarterback on a rookie quarterback deal.
Hello.
I can tell you, if Anthony Richardson turns out to be half of what you drafted him for at number 4, Jonathan Taylor will be the absolute least of your worries. And when I look at this roster, you have no Stephon Gilmore. Who the fuck else do you really have to pay? Michael Pittman? He's not going to be asking for league-changing money. Are you shitting me? Alec Pierce? Are you shitting me? Y'all paid Zaire, maybe y'all's best defensive player. Maybe y'all have like a defensive lineman y'all need to play. Who the fuck else do y'all have to pay? This is not a good football team.
They gave the deal to Shaquille, like you said, and then what's that guard they paid?
Quentin Nelson?
Yes, Quentin Nelson.
And they also paid Zaire Franklin, one of their better linebackers. Okay, these are good players. Players that I would be like, okay, I understand why you pay them before Jonathan Taylor. Now my question is, who the fuck else do you have left to pay that's up to be paid right now that is a better football player than Jonathan Taylor? Look at that Colts roster and you will say none.
Anthony Richardson, have fun running QB power 4 times a game, because that's all,
that's
all we got, dog.
If you saw the best quarterback or the best football player that you've had since Peyton Manning walked out of that door, and he abruptly retired because you couldn't protect him, because you guys would not invest the proper materials in protecting him, why the fuck would you not learn from your mistake and try to pay a player who also is somewhat needed on the offensive line, but could still also create on their own without this offensive line? Am I crazy for this thinking?
A little bit.
Listen, NFL, I'm going to tell you right now.
Like that.
NFL, one of these days, maybe not in the next 3-4 years, maybe in the next 10, y'all are going to recognize that how y'all been treating running backs for the last 5 to 6 to 7 years is going to bite y'all in the ass, because y'all are going to go from having some of the most dynamic players as running backs to now you just got a bunch of guys who now want to be NFL running backs, and all your dynamic players are in other positions, and now you're overdrafting defensive linemen, you're overdrafting linebackers, you're overdrafting corners, you're overdrafting wide receivers who are all dynamic playmakers, but you don't have enough money to pay them because you can't put that much investment in the single position groups, when meanwhile your running back by committee is just shit. I don't know. Again, I say I don't know why teams think this running back by committee thing is like a true thing that is proven to work. I know what y'all say, oh, but the Super Bowl and the Chiefs. That's not true. That's not what happened. The better running back outperformed the running back that had been there and was not performing well. But guess who's going to be there? Who's going to get 75% of the carries next year for the Chiefs? I bet you. Isaiah Pacheco. And when is Jerick McKinnon going to be brought in on serious third down situations? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I don't like it. Again, I am with running backs. Listen, if y'all going to support the writers and the actors in the strike, then you got to support the running backs in the eventual strike that they got coming, because that's what I'm doing. Excuse me. Speaking of strikes and maybe getting your shit struck on, let's shift things over to the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. So during an interview this past weekend with USA Today, Denver Broncos coach Sean Payton, former Fox analyst, said when asked about the the previous Broncos regime, he let the whole clip sing pretty much. He called Hackett's one-year tenure in Denver one of the worst coaching jobs in NFL history. And he eventually would kind of backtrack those statements, claiming to have his Fox analyst hat on and not his head coaching hat on. My greatest quarterback of all time, former Packers quarterback, former future Hall of Famer, and current quarterback of the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, responded by telling Sean Payton to keep his coach's name out of his mouth. Danny, this is for you up first. Does this situation end like a Chris Rock, Will Smith sort of situation where someone maybe needs to get them paws put on them, or will cooler heads prevail until the Broncos and Jets play later this year, where it might get a little spicy?
Things will cool down until they play in Denver. Gladys, you should go because that sounds like
sounds gonna be fun.
I just think we need to focus on the handshake at the 50. Because I know Robert. I know Robert Saleh. I think all of us have an older family member. He's probably an older black man who lived through segregation. When he shakes your hand, it's a little some extra, right? It's a little. I had to fight for my freedom that was given to you in the handshake, and I have a feeling Robert Saleh might try to rip that man's hand off. Like he gonna get.
Robert Saleh sends Nathanial Hacket out there.
Yes, Nathanial Hackett's going to be captain that game.
Exactly.
He's going to be an honorary captain to go flip the coin. That would be hilarious. But no, I just want to see the handshake at the 50. I think Saleh, like, you shake someone's hand, you give 2 shakes, pause. I think this is going to be 4 or 5. It's going to be don't you ever do that again. Like, don't you ever do that again.
Saleh's not a small man. Saleh's a big guy.
Yeah,
he'd be in the gym.
Yeah,
he'd be in the
he's
gym.
working out. He's a good.
He had Zach Wilson at quarterback. He was definitely in the gym.
I know intellectually what I think Payton was trying to do. Like, he was trying to take some of the pressure off Russell Wilson, right? It's not Russell's fault. It's not Russell's fault. It was like the all-time worst coaching. Russell's going to be fine. However, I don't know if I heard today that there's like, he broke the coach's code, which I just think he broke like a person code. Like, you don't do that. I don't care how good you think you are. And we all know that Sean Payton thinks he is the greatest. I don't care how bad you think someone else is. You don't do that. You don't open your mouth like that. Kudos to Aaron Rodgers. Like, I have not been on the Aaron Rodgers train for some time, but now I'm back on it. Kudos to him for saying, keep my coach's name out of your mouth. You don't do that. You don't say things like that. Of course, out here, people are like, oh, yeah, it's like the best. He's like, that's the greatest thing ever. No, it wasn't all Nathaniel Hackett's fault. It wasn't. Did you see Russell Wilson's stats? I mean, Nathaniel Hackett wasn't throwing that ball to people that weren't there. That was Russell Wilson. So I know what Payton was trying to do. It's not an excuse for him, because you just don't do that. And I think it's week 5 they play.
Something like that.
I think if the Jets don't win a game up until week 5, they're going to put the beat down on the Broncos in week 5. That is my prediction. And my prediction is Sean Payton won't come out for the handshake. He won't come out for the handshake.
Oh.
I don't think he will. I do not think Sean Payton will come out for the handshake. And I is there anything in his past history that suggests that he's a fair player, that he would do the right thing? Anything?
You know what, Gladys, you're right. Sean Payton gonna send someone to blitz Robert Saleh at the 50. We're gonna bounty gate 2.0.
Exactly. So it was like, when I heard it, I was like, what? What is he trying to? Even if you had your Fox analyst hat on, you wouldn't be saying that. So he just needs to sit down. Sit down. Russell Wilson, if Russell Wilson isn't good this year, then whose fault?
Who, buddy?
Whose fault is it?
Because this is year 1 of that new contract he signed.
Exactly.
And it's a 5-year deal, if I'm not mistaken.
Woo! If Russell Wilson isn't good this year, Sean Payton ain't going to be taking, oh, it's my fault. No. What he did to Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson will be next.
you know what's funny? And I'm sorry, D,
No, go
like
ahead.
if the Broncos suck, Nikola Jokic is gonna be king of Denver. Nikola Jokic, they're gonna bring him out every game to the 50 with the trophy.
Yep.
Everyone hears Jokic, say hi to him
Yep.
before a riot breaks out.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Broncos bat again, you will not hear not one Sierra song being played anywhere in the Denver vicinity anytime soon. I'm honestly a little bit shocked to hear y'all's point of view. I'm gonna start by acknowledging a comment that we had by our guy Kyle. He said, "I've never heard Aaron Rodgers defend Mike McCarthy like that." I think this is a great place to start. See, Gladys talked about the coach's code and the person code. And when I heard Sean Payton say this, a couple things went off in my mind. Number one, Sean Payton is looking at the coaching landscape, and I think he knows that in this league, as a head coach in the National Football League, you got 3 years. You got 3 years, dog. You got 3 years to show some results. Either you get to the playoffs, you make a deep playoff run, you go all the way to a Super Bowl. Like you got to show something that says you can guide this franchise in the direction that it needs to be. I think when he took on the job and really got into the nuts and bolts of this Broncos franchise, where they are from a roster, from organizational, from a mental standpoint, I honestly think this was him putting some fire in not only Russell Wilson's ass, but the whole team's ass. Like, yo, yeah, the brother who came before me, he was a bum. He was a fucking bum. He should not have been here. He's not a head coach. He's not head coach material. He ain't won nothing. He was riding on the coattails of a Super Bowl MVP, a 2-time MVP that helped make his system better. All they was doing was it was him and Devontae Adams. Like, get the fuck out of here. I am a true coach. I know what it's like to have a coaching system that can be successful in this league. Say what you want about Sean Payton, but you can't say the brother was not successful. He was successful despite maybe only having one Super Bowl ring, but that's one more Super Bowl ring than a lot of head coaches get to in the National Football League. So Sean Payton is looking at this landscape, what he inherited, and saying, one, this is way more work than I anticipated, even with Russell Wilson at quarterback. This is a lot. I gotta get the offense in a place where they can score points on the level to be able to deal with the Chiefs and the Chargers if it comes to one of those games. Also got to have a defense that be able to contain the Bengals, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Dolphins, all these superpower teams in my own conference. Okay, I don't know where we are with that. We still might be a far enough journey away to where I feel confident in that. Not only that, let's take a step further. Inside my offensive room, I gotta regain the confidence of my quarterback. Last year, he was out there, he was getting kicked on, he was getting pissed on, he was getting shit on. Everybody was throwing shit at him. They was singing my wife's songs wrong on purpose. They was not singing 1-2 step with the right lyrics. They were saying 1-2 bounce your ass out of Denver. Like, I remember that. They were saying, ooh, Broncos country, get the fuck out of here, Russ. They was kicking my man's back in. And Sean Payton this, they was kicking. No, play me. Don't pause me. Don't pause me. Sean Payton was seeing the way the media, the fans, and everyone was kicking. His own teammates was kicking his back in, and he was seeing how that affected the locker room, how that affected his QB's confidence. Y'all don't think this man gonna come out talking a little spicy? He putting fire in his team, saying, "Yo, y'all fucking sucked last year. Y'all was bums. You couldn't even beat Alabama. You suck ass bunch of fools. And this is the year we're gonna change that shit that happened last year. Forget about it." That coach was a bum. He couldn't coach a dead man of 53 to play on Sundays. I'm here now, and we're going to get this shit the fuck right. And if he got a problem with it, we're going to see him week 5. That's what I heard. That is what I heard. And I think if you're really trying to really inspire your team and really get them going in training camp, or you want to instill some culture, some mental toughness into this group, because you got to go to war with these men over the course of 18 weeks, yeah, you got to talk a little spicy. And if Nathaniel Hacket and Aaron Rodgers don't like it, okay, cool. We see y'all week 5. If y'all really about that shit that y'all been talking about, come see us and we'll take it out in the field. But I'm thinking Sean Payton and the Broncos are looking at Robert Saleh, Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets and saying, Whatever the fuck y'all think y'all got going on over there, Nathaniel Hacket ain't fixing it, and y'all not that much better than us. So if we some ass, y'all some ass too. But I don't think we gonna be ass because we are better coached, we are a better team, we are a better roster, we are better on paper than you are. Do something about it. I like that spiciness. Sean Payton can say, yeah, I had my Fox. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You was at practice watching Jerry Jeudy and them drop pass at the pass and said, dear God Almighty, I inherited a shitstorm. What the fuck was Nathaniel Hacket doing here for all them weeks that he was the head coach? This guy didn't do nothing. You had to hire someone to help you. You had to hire a consultant as a head coach. Motherfucker, you are the consultant.
That would be fine, except when he came in, the first thing he did was on Russell Wilson. Like, yeah, you're not getting the office. Yeah, you're not this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what this quarterback coach thing is, but he's not coming to any of our practices. I mean,
I think that's establishing the culture though. Like, yo, Russell, you thought you was running shit when Nathaniel Hackett was
exactly,
here, cool.
And that's what I'm saying.
What he's talking about though. He don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's talking about. Trust me, trust my system. I would bet a lot of my salary that Sean Payton went to Russell Wilson and said, yo, I coached Drew Brees to a Super Bowl. You aren't Drew Brees. I can coach you up. You don't have half of what Drew Brees has. And I coached that guy to a Super Bowl. I think I can coach you if you trust me. I think I can put you in a position to win.
Okay.
I mean,
look at his record. Say what you want about the teams and maybe some of the results in the postseason post that 2011 Super Bowl, but the Saints and Sean Payton have had success. They've had good offenses. They have been contenders. And he's just looking at this team like, yo, the team I inherited is not what I thought it would be. Sean Payton inherited the team that he thought Nathaniel Hackett had inherited. That's not the team. Because he thought he had a Bradley Chubb on the roster. He does not. You see what I'm saying here? You got to put a mindset in your team. I'm with it. I'm fuck all this happy to be here shit. Nah, dog. This is the NFL. Coaches get bounced out of here in 2.5, 3 years. He looking at the New York Jets and probably saying, Robert Saleh, brother, you got Aaron Rodgers. Your time is on the motherfucking clock. Fool with us if you want to. And Gladys, I'm gonna even say something to your point on if the Jets don't have. Let me tell you how this game is gonna go. This is gonna be the 3-1 Denver Broncos versus the 1-3 New York Jets. That's how this is going to go. The 3-1 Denver Broncos are going to play the 1-3 New York Jets, and I'm going to call it right now. For the first half, this is going to be chippy. This is going to be nasty. The second half, the Broncos are going to pull away. That is going to be a 35-14 type game. I don't know what, dog.
You fired up tonight. I ain't never.
I get what, and I respect what Aaron Rodgers doing. You got to stick up for your coach. That's your man's. That was your QB coach. That was your offensive coordinator. He helped you win 2 back-to-back MVPs. Aaron Rodgers did what he's supposed to do. You stick up for your coach, but call a spade. Yo, your head coach. I mean, your offensive coordinator is just that, an offensive coordinator. He ain't got the. Just shut the fuck up, Siri. He don't have the cojones to be a head coach in this league, and I think that is what Sean Payton was really trying to say. He don't have what it takes. He not cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, but there was no reason to say that. You see what I'm saying? Like the Jets never said any. The Jets never even bought the Broncos into anything. So there was no reason for Sean Payton to bring the Jets into it and Nathaniel Hackett. That was no one down out here was even thinking about Nathaniel Hackett once Sean Payton came in here. No one. Like he was a distant memory. Now, and for whatever reason, Sean Payton decides to bring up, that was the worst coaching job in the history of the NFL.
Nobody maybe in New York in the Jets organization was thinking about the Broncos, but I think as the Broncos leadership and general manager staff and coaches were watching some of the training practices of what they inherited, they were probably saying, yo, this is some fucking bullshit. What was that guy doing? Why are y'all so deflated? Why are y'all so without confidence? Why don't y'all have faith that this could be the 53-man squad that could eventually try to win a championship? I have a strong feeling that inside of that Denver Broncos practice facility was a lack of spirit, a lack of true effort, a lack of commitment to a lack of commitment, a sense of urgency, and I think that was Sean Payton's way of waking some shit up around the Denver Broncos practice facility. Guys, do y'all remember what the Denver Broncos looked like the last month of the season? Like, it was pathetic. And to Kyle's point, the only coaching performance I can see worse than Nathaniel Hackett, Jeff Saturday, and Urban Meyer.
Sean Payton is a sucker for that.
Nah,
Yeah,
Sean Payton, talk your shit, bro. Talk your shit.
That's some sucker shit. But
talk your shit.
It's like taking a low blow. It's like, hey, let's get in the ring, and I'm telling you, I'm going to hit you below the belt, and I'm going to hit you hard below the belt. So you might not have your jock on. It's your problem. I'm going to hit below the belt. I'm not going to play by the rules.
Well, the most important thing is these guys play week 5, and we're going to see.
We gonna see.
We are. But the thing is, the Broncos schedule, the first 4 games are way easier than the Jets' first 4 games. So, yeah, it may be that the Jets have a worse record, but I'm still saying they are.
But I would also say that we don't really know what these teams are going to really look like this year. So we may think on paper that schedule is harder, but what if these – I go back to the
Commanders.
New York Jets.
The Commanders are the Chiefs. Broncos play the Commanders. Jets play the Chiefs.
Hey, it'd be tough like that. No one knows it should be tough like that. Hey, they got pros just like you got pros. Go out and play.
Okay.
Play.
Okay.
So let me ask. So am I the only one who thinks that this may get a little spicy at the handshake? Like I could definitely see.
Oh, it's gonna get spicy at the handshake.
See, I'm not with the 5 shake thing. I think instead of a 5 shake thing, it's going to be, what does John Cena call it? The 5 knuckle shuffle or the open hand touch. That's what I think is going to happen.
Oh, that's her second.
Are you talking before game? The before game shake?
I'm talking after. I'm talking Eric Mangini, Bill Belichick kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
I don't think there's going to be a handshake either after the game, no matter who wins.
There's either going to be no handshake to Gladys's point, or Nathaniel Hackett going to step in front of Robert Saleh, and he might bitch slap the hell out of Sean Payton. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I don't promote.
And I'm there for it.
We here at the Speak On It podcast do not promote violence of any kind, way, shape, or form. And we encourage the talking out of all problems.
With that claim being set, though, Nathaniel Hackett, if you really about your shit and you feeling yourself, handle business when you meet my man at the 50. Ask him just to repeat that shit he said.
Yeah, you know that's it. What'd you say?
Because listen, we all black here. When someone asks you, can you just say that one more time? Yeah. Don't say it again. Don't say it again unless you want a physical altercation.
Or swing first.
Oh,
so if someone asks you, say that again. Swing
first. Yeah,
swing first.
Absolutely,
and connect. First. Don't swing and miss.
What was that shit you said the other day? Matt, I didn't hear it. I ain't even letting you think.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Shoot, are you kidding me? Kidding me? The end of that game may look like that one Jaguars game. Y'all remember that one when my man got tossed? It was like the last minute. Folks is getting tossed out.
Oh, yeah. That's it was Ngakoue, right?
Oh, yeah, boy.
Yeah. Or when Trent Williams slapped Richard Sherman after the Commanders and Seahawks played back in the day. He went to the
somebody was walking, someone got ejected and they was walking out, someone threw a drink on him, he went into the stands. Yo, why would you fight someone with pads on? None of your shots is gonna hit him.
Travis Kelce, why are you punching people with a helmet on?
Oh, because it's Travis Kelce. He's an idiot. What he went after Nathaniel Hackett. Why wouldn't he go after the defense, Irvo?
The defense wasn't the problem in Denver last year.
No, it wasn't.
That's true.
But he said the worst coaching. He didn't say the worst offensive coaching. He didn't say the worst defensive coaching. He said the worst coaching.
Yeah, so from head coaching, because I would say
he didn't say head coach though. He didn't say head coach. He said it was the worst coaching.
Hey man, Sean Payton, when he was away from the league that year, had to spend that year coaching little league, and he was probably looking at Nathaniel Hackett saying, "Yo, dog, you couldn't coach a group of little leaguers like you were." Yo, it would not surprise me if Sean Payton don't like Nathaniel Hackett like at all. Like, don't respect.
That's what
him.
It sounds like.
Yeah,
you don't respect him. Like, he's probably somewhere saying, "Yo, Nathaniel Hackett, without Aaron Rodgers, brother, your best coaching job is coaching up fucking Blake Bortles to an AFC championship. Get the fuck out my face. Like, yo, I feel like some of these coaches get mad disrespectful, like behind closed doors. Like, I feel like, imagine if you're like the coaches of the Philadelphia Eagles and you really try to talk some shit to like an Andy Reid or a Bill Belichick. They looking at you crazy. Like, yo, dog, you just got here. Welcome to superiority.
Jalen Hurts was looking at him crazy during the Super Bowl. When he said something, Jalen Hurts was like, "Shut up." I don't even remember what it was. I just remember the camera got on, and then Jalen Hurts was like, "Why are you doing it?" And Stefani's like, "You're right." So I mean, I think that's I think that's true. However, it's behind closed doors. It is not in front of like 20 microphones calling people out. I think that's the big difference.
What if we found out that Nathaniel Hacket was telling folks as he was on the way out, well, whoever y'all bring in won't do half as good as job as me, and they got back.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I doubt it. I think Nathaniel Hacket left with his tail between his legs.
Y'all giving too much to credit Nathaniel Hacket. I bet you Nathaniel Hacket was on that bullshit.
Yeah, no one's saying he wasn't bullshit. We're just saying.
So what if
Sean Payton is a sucker for just bringing that out of nowhere?
The bullshit from Nathaniel Hacket, and we just don't know about it.
Sean Payton is.
We don't know about it. That's the thing. We don't have to know about Sean Payton's beef with Nathaniel Hacket.
Well, fucking I know about it then. I know about it. Exclusive right here and Speak on it. Sean Payton is not some bullshit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They gave up a first round pick. Payton, shut up, man. Just sit down, shut up, and do your job.
Speaking of the AFC West and Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos, guys, are we ready to review the AFC West?
I'm very fired up about the AFC West.
I am really, really excited about this. I think this is going to be a good one. So, as everyone knows, during the 8 weeks leading up to the kickoff of the NFL season, we review each division. We look through each. We preview each team's record, the winner of the division, the storyline, the breakout player, division MVP, where the team's going to fall in terms of seeding. So this week we are doing the AFC West. As mentioned at the top of the show, this consists of the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the aforementioned Denver Broncos. So my first question here is, who would like to start in their preview?
Gladys is our guest. Go for it.
All right. Am I doing just a team? Just one team? How do you want me to do it? I'll do it just one team. Let's just
maybe Danny, how about you start us off so that way Gladys can see how we do it. That might be easier.
Okay. So records from worst to best and what seed they are in the conference. So for me, the worst team in the AFC West at 6-11. They'll be the 13th seed in the AFC, the Las Vegas Raiders. No shock there. Josh McDaniels, to me, is not a good coach. Devontae Adams is going to demand a trade, and he will get his trade, and he will be with Aaron Rodgers again in New York. That's why he gave all that money back, because he knows Devontae is going to want out, and he's going to go to New York. At 9-8, 3-3, the 11th seed, the Denver Broncos. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be a better team than last year. I don't think Sean Payton is as good as advertised, but this team can't get any worse than last year. Like, there's only one. You can only go up. So I think they'll be 9-8, the 11th seed at 11-6, 2-4 in the division, because this is what they do. The 6th seed, the Chargers. We're going to talk about the Chargers in the storyline in a second. And then, of course, the best team in the AFC West, the best team in the AFC, 13-4, 4-2 in the division, the number 1 seed in the conference, the Chiefs. I don't know what else to say.
Okay. I agree with Raiders, but I think they're only going to win 4 games. 4
and talk to me.
Come on now. It's Josh McDaniels. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. It's Devontae Adams. Very disgruntled, very pissed. They're Josh Jacobs not wanting to put in the full time because he's only working on a 1-year contract. He doesn't want to get hurt. They gave away Darren Waller. They picked up Mike Mayer from Notre Dame. But what? Who? Where? You gave away Darren Waller, who, when healthy, is probably one of the best tight ends in the league. So now you've got Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers. You got 2 slot guys and 1 guy going long with Jimmy Garoppolo, who is not going to throw the ball long. So it's a waste of Adams' potential. 4-13 at best.
Okay.
Broncos next. See, the Broncos to me is that team that the range of outcomes could be a very high ceiling or a very low floor. Like, it can go either way. And I'm going to give them 9-8. Like, so 7 of their games, I think that they lost last year by either 1 point or an overtime, or the 2 games against the Chiefs, which had like a 9-point differential. They were in games.
Yeah.
Like, even with Nathaniel Hacket doing Nathaniel Hacket stuff and Russell Wilson doing God knows what stuff, they were in games. So Sean Payton is good enough to get them double their wins. I'm gonna no 9-8, 9-8, 9-8. I think
Okay.
they'll get 9 wins. I think they'll make the playoffs actually. Out of
Oh
the,
wow, 9-8 get you in the playoffs in the AFC.
I think so. I really do.
Okay.
I really do. The Chargers. Ooh, see, here's my thing. I'm gonna actually put the Chargers ahead of KC. I know that KC. Chris Jones, has he signed yet? He hasn't signed, right?
He has not signed yet.
He is not signed yet.
They are not counting on how big a loss that's going to be if they don't get Chris Jones back in, right? And who do they have in the receiving weapons? Sky Moore, yeah, maybe. Travis Kelce, who is starting to punch guys because he's an idiot. You got Patrick Mahomes, but Patrick Mahomes isn't going to win you every game. Like, he's not. Like, I'm sorry, they shouldn't have won the Super Bowl. They shouldn't have won the Super Bowl.
No, they should not have.
Patrick Mahomes was outplayed by Jalen Hurts.
Yes, he was.
So
and that's what's so pissing. So sad.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm going. The KC is going to probably be like 11-6. Have that
Oh.
Super Bowl hangover,
Okay.
and the Chargers. Okay. The caveat is the Chargers have to stay healthy. Like, I think that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams played like maybe 5 games together last year. Justin Herbert played with that cracked rib. If they're healthy, I have the Chargers winning that division at 14-3.
Oh, it's 14-3, number 1 in the conference.
Yep, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is the deciding factor. They're not going to have the Duncan Dink. He's going to go long, and they got the people to go long, especially with Quentin Johnson coming in. So 14-3, winning the conference, LA Chargers.
Whoa.
Now, having said that, I still don't think Staley's going to get them a playoff win, but they will win the conference.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to start. Wow. I'm going to start my prediction off with acknowledgement to research Kyle in the chat, because his bold prediction is my also same bold prediction.
Okay.
That only one AFC West team makes the playoffs this
Okay.
year. I actually have this as the only team in the AFC to only put one team in the playoff this year.
I can get down with that.
So I'm finishing last in the division with a division record of 1-4 and with a division record of 1-5, finishing 3-14. I have the Las Vegas Raiders. Guys, this is just going to be a bad football team. Like, I just don't even. If you're a Las Vegas fan, you're probably
You
wondering.
have the aces. You have the aces.
You have the aces. You're wondering, why did they even bring an NFL team here if this is the product they're going to put on the field? They're going to be very bad. Jimmy G, listen, you finesse the Raiders out of that money, and you're not fully healthy. And I've already been following along with the beat writers in Vegas. You're terrible. I don't even know what else to say. Good luck. Finishing. Excuse me. So this is where it gets crazy in the AFC.
Okay.
Finishing 9-8, 3-3 in the division, and not making the playoffs at all. I have the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
I think, to Gladys's point, the Broncos are going to take a step forward. I think they are going to be a better team. I don't think they are going to be playoff worthy, but I definitely feel like they're going to end the season on a high note, that where people are going to say, I see the potential for this Broncos team. They definitely have what it takes next year to be the team that we think they could be. Finishing one spot out of the playoffs, so the 8th seed, also at 9-8, with a 4-2 divisional record. I have the Los Angeles Chargers.
Stop it.
Let me tell you what I think about the Chargers.
Stop it.
Y'all every year think the Chargers are going to be different. I'm here to tell you the Chargers are going to Charger. So what I really think is going to happen is the Chargers are going to sweep the Chiefs.
Yep.
Listen to me. They're going to sweep the Chiefs.
Okay.
They are going to split with both the Broncos and Raiders in home and home series.
Okay.
And they are going to lose to other AFC teams that they have, when I say no business of losing, like no business of losing. Like, and I'm not saying they're going to lose by a field goal. They're going to go into Houston and lose like 30-7. That's the type of shit I see happening. Listen, y'all give the Chargers too much credit because they have potential. I'm here to say they're not as good as we think they are. They're just flashy, and they make losing flashy. I think that's going to come to an end.
D, talk to me.
And then this year, finishing second in the AFC with a record of 11-6, or would it be 11-5? No, it's 11-6.
11-6.
11-6 with a 3-2 divisional record. Well, 4-2 divisional record. Only losses coming to the Los Angeles Chargers. I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they'll have a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. Wouldn't surprise me if they start off their first 5 games like 2-3 and then go like, only lose like 2 games for the rest of the way. Like, I think the Chiefs are going to start off slow and then pick up steam and get right back to their winning ways. I think they're going to be the 2 seed. I think the Chiefs as a 2 seed is probably just as good as having the Chiefs as a 1 seed because
Mahomes has never played a road playoff game, though. This will be his first time. He has never played a road playoff game.
But I can tell you, all those AFC Championship games that he's hosted, he has not been the 1 seed for all of them.
So who's the 1 seed, Miami or Buffalo? Or Pittsburgh?
I'm going to be honest with you. My AFC number 1 seed, bold, the Jacksonville Jaguars at 11-5.
Okay.
Well, 11-6.
You are spicy.
But that's because I believe the Jags and the Chiefs are going to have the same record, but the Jags aren't going to lose a division game. I think the Jags are going to sweep their division, and that's going to be the reason why they get the 1 seed. But I will say I do not have the Jags in the AFC Championship game. I will go on record in saying I think Baltimore comes out of the AFC as AFC champions.
Okay.
And Kyle, to answer your points, as I'm talking about the AFC South right now. So Kyle asked, so D thinks the Titans will be in the playoffs, or does he believe in one of the rookies? I have the Tennessee Titans finishing 6-11, 2-4 in their division, and finishing 15th in the AFC. So I have them winning games.
In one of the rookies,
but I have the only team worse in the AFC being the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You believe in one of the rookies. Don't spoil it because they have to come back for the AFC South, but you believe in a rookie.
Oh, we haven't done the AFC South yet?
No, we have not. We have not. We've done the AFC East, we've done the NFC West, and now we're doing the AFC West. We have not been to
little preview for my AFC South. I do think the Jaguars are going to be the number 1 seed. I think when you mix in, we'll talk about it when we talk about the AFC South. But going back to the AFC West, I just think, listen, I think outside of the Raiders, I think the Chargers and the Broncos are going to be struggling playoff teams who all year are going to flirt with being the Broncos and the Chargers are going to be on the bubble all year. And it would not surprise me if week 17 they find out both of them aren't making the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? One of them situations where, like, if this team wins and X team loses and this team wins and the Chargers win, the Chargers make the playoffs. I think that's going to be one of the situations the Chargers don't get in. Same with the Broncos. I think the Chiefs are going to be the only team from that division that end up making it in. And I can't wait till we do our AFC South preview because I feel like I'm going to upset a lot of folks throughout the AFC except for 2 teams. But I think the AFC South, the AFC East, and the AFC North all put 2 teams in. And the AFC West just puts in the on paper favorite in the Chiefs.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But I think the top 3 teams in the NFC or AFC, well, I'll say this. I think the top 4 teams in the AFC all finish 11-6. And it's just going to come down to divisional records.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Guys, I think there's a lot of parity in the AFC. This isn't the NFC where it's clear that the Cowboys are the best team. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We talk about the NFC East next week. You might be mad at me. We might be beefing next week.
Trayvon Diggs is calling his quarterback a bitch right now, and they're gonna be the number 1 seed. All right, that's cool.
You act like nobody has called. Yo, don't think.
Yo, you think someone in New York is calling Aaron Rodgers the B word? You think someone in Philadelphia calling Jalen the B word?
No,
You think someone calling Patrick the B word?
Under their breath? I think
you
they call
feel
all
like
these
someone out loud. You think someone calling Lamar the B word in Baltimore?
Well,
Nah,
Lamar
dog.
about that action. So
How you
say-
the number
say
one
if you
seed?
want-
Your own teammates don't respect you. All right, man. I hear you.
Yo,
Go ahead. Fall
y'all
for the
say-
star again. Go
y'all
ahead.
say so you think nobody in Dallas respect Dak? See, you just create narratives now because that's that
Trayvon
Philly.
Diggs looked him in the face and called him a BAN word. Yeah, I don't think he respects him at all.
Yeah, and you know what I would say if I was Dak? I'd be like, yo, cut on the tape because a lot of receivers calling you the same thing, my boy.
I just know ain't nobody talking to Jalen Hurts like that. I know ain't nobody
You
looking
know,
at
you know this day
Jalen.
in Jalen Hurts. Hey, brother, try harder next time. Maybe you'll have a ring. That's all.
Hey, he so disrespectful. What is storylines, man?
Trayvon and Dak looking at Jalen saying, yo, we all get the same number of rings when we all sit on this couch, this Cancun couch, brother.
You know what's crazy? No, we'll save it for next week. Well,
Yeah, we'll save it for next week. Biggest storyline. So I'll start this one. I'll start this by saying I think the biggest storylines coming out of the AFC West is how the Broncos and the Chargers, while they are both I'll stay on the Broncos. I think the biggest storyline this year will be how the Broncos are leaps and bounds see the improvements from last year, but they're not on par yet to being the playoff contender that Sean Payton and probably Russell Wilson think they should be. But it would not surprise me if the Broncos put in a good enough season next year where like a disgruntled A1 wide receiver tries to force his way into Denver because he realizes the targets and the catches he's going to get. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't surprise me if maybe like the Seahawks don't have a good year next year and DK Metcalf tells the Seahawks to trade me to Denver.
Oh.
Well, hey, maybe there's a dog out here who don't believe me. Danny, what about you? What do you think about the biggest storylines for the AFC West?
we talked about it last week. He got his money. Now it's time for Justin Herbert to do something. The Athletic released their yearly tiers, and for some reason, Justin Herbert is a tier 1 quarterback, and I'm just asking why. Man blew a 27-point lead in the playoffs.
You gonna stop being disrespectful to Herbert, brother?
I will not. You do not get to blow a 27-point lead in the playoffs.
But you can't say that your team blew a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl.
10
Give
points
me the
to
brother that
27.
blows a 27-point lead in the wild card round over the brother who blows a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl. You can't say that.
10-point lead is 2 possession. 27-point lead is 4 possession.
It was 2 possessions. So your man wanted to play footsie with the football, and now next thing you know, they running down, scoring the easy.
You know what?
What
what's
are
crazy?
we talking about?
You know what's crazy? Jordan Love gonna be at home more early this year, so you ain't even gotta worry about Super Bowl expectations. You're gonna be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
I promise you, Jordan Love is gonna get his playoff check this year from winning the division. Now, how many playoff checks he gets, that's up to him. But I at least see him get at least a wild card one.
Jordan gonna get his last check because on draft night, Caleb Williams will be a Packer.
Look at the NFC North and tell me who we should be afraid of. Dan Campbell and the Lions. The Lions are the NFC.
Kirk Cousins, the best quarterback in that division.
Who? Jared Goff? Okay.
Kirk Cousins, the best quarterback in that division.
That's not saying much. Yo. The Lions are the NFC version of the Chargers, and the Vikings are the NFC version of the fucking the Dolphins. Stop it. Y'all bugging.
Kyle said he can't wait to get his Caleb Williams jersey. But anyway, it's time for Justin Herbert to beat the allegations. Because last time I saw him on the field, he blew a 27-point lead to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
How he? What did I say last week? What other quarterback can blow that big of a lead and come out unscathed?
Where's the defense in any of this?
All he had to do was put together 2 5-minute drives. Game over. Can't he do that?
But he don't get paid to play defense. He puts you up 27 defense.
You say, hey, guys, the defense is struggling. Let's go put a drive together.
But I put you up by 27. You're a professional NFL defense.
And he ain't scored a point at all in the second half.
I put you up 3 possessions and 2 field goals. At what point do you guys just have to play?
Hey, man.
Stop it.
If he gets the credit for winning, he'll take this L too. You can't.
And Kyle like that. Listen, every time we saw Jordan Love, he did not perform bad. I don't know why y'all think with a full off season and the offense under his helm, the ability to take all the first team reps, he gonna go in there and stink up the joint. Dude's just been sitting behind the greatest quarterback of all time. Y'all think he's just coming there going to be a bum?
Yes.
Stop it.
100%.
Stop it. Jalen Hurts took over fucking the best quarterback that Philly's ever had, and the only one to deliver them a Super Bowl. And He looked perfectly okay. Perfectly okay.
His first year, he looked terrible.
Okay, so Jordan Love may look a little shaky, but he's not going to look terrible.
Okay.
No one said.
I mean, he's been in the league for
gonna go out here
15
and look
years
great,
now,
but
so
he's
he
not
should
gonna-
look decent.
decent is not looking
He
terrible.
damn near 30. I hope he learned something.
He gonna look decent, bruh. This first year he gonna look decent. He's
Gladys,
not gonna be an Aaron
Gladys,
Rodgers, but he's not gonna look bad.
What's your biggest storyline, Gladys?
Go ahead.
I actually have two competing big storylines.
Okay.
Russell Wilson gets benched halfway through the season.
Talk to me.
Sean Payton's not going to take. He is not going to take the loss with Russell Wilson under center. If they start playing bad, it's Russell Wilson's fault. He will bench Russell Wilson in a second, and I think Russell Wilson will be benched. 10 games in, he'll be benched. And then they'll make
with that contract?
Yeah. Oh.
Ain't no
you think
going
Sean
back
Payton
after
cares
that.
about that contract? You think
he need to?
He don't care
ownership
about
care.
that contract. Okay. If you have Sean Payton about the contract or Sean Payton about his ego, which one is he going to take?
That is fair.
Fair.
Sean Payton's taking his ego over that contract, over anyone's contract,
That's
any
fair.
day, anytime. Russell Wilson, he will sit Russell Wilson's ass if he thinks Russell. And I'm not saying he's going to be benched for the whole season. I think he's going to take him out of the game. He's not going to play like 2 games, put him back in. They'll go make a run for the playoffs. But yeah, no, Russell Wilson's going to get benched sometime this season. And the second storyline is Brandon Staley's going to get fired for blowing yet another playoff game.
Will it be another 27-point lead?
It doesn't matter because that's why Kellen Moore is there. Kellen Moore is going to step up and say, "Hey, I can coach this team."
Oh, okay. Kellen Moore and Eric Bieniemy both
Like Kellen Moore is like,
moles right now in their own organizations. Okay.
Wait, I
Brandon
thought Eric Bieniemy was head
Washington.
offense coordinator. For
Yeah,
Washington.
Ron Rivera gonna get fired. We're gonna talk about dog Ron Rivera already gone. Like Eric yeah, same thing. Same thing.
Oh,
Nah, you might be right about that one.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, they're gonna get him out of there. And DC Mad Black, they're gonna get behind.
I
Eric
mean, Ron Rivera is Hispanic.
Don't do this. Don't make me do this.
Yeah, we done. Yeah, I know black. I Dominican.
Listen, we in DC. That brother's name is Ron Rivera. Now, if his name was Ronaldo Robinson, you might be on to something. If his name was Tyrone Robinson, that brother's name is Ron Rivera.
Hey yo.
Listen.
Hey yo.
Listen. He better listen. Listen. If I'm Ron Rivera, I'm getting fired right on Hispanic Heritage Month or whatever it is.
Oh God. Who's the division MVP? Anybody.
For this division?
For the AFC West. Who is the MVP of the division?
Oh. I'm thinking, that it's going to be Patrick. We can't give it to anyone else.
Yeah,
it's like it's contractually obligated to give it to Patrick Mahomes every fucking year. It doesn't matter. He's gonna get it. He can get outplayed by I don't know, whoever's replacing Russell Wilson, and he is still gonna get the MVP because he's Patrick Mahomes.
Just breathe.
Nah, because if there was an organization that would fire their Hispanic coach during Hispanic Heritage, it would be the Washington Commanders. I mean, listen, imagine.
Here we go. Here we go, D. I got you. So Hispanic Heritage Month is from September 15th to October 15th.
Oh, Ron, yes.
Guess who the Commanders play on the 15th. They play the Falcons in Atlanta. Can you imagine firing him in the blackest city in America during Hispanic Heritage Month on the 15th? It writes itself.
Ron, I just want to let you know, if you get fired while in Atlanta, just go ahead and Magic City, bro. Just go ahead and Magic City.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'll change your life.
Call Desmond Ritter. Y'all be fired together. He'll feel your pain.
Call Des Bryant, too. He might be in there. He might. Listen. Oh, my goodness. Listen, my division MVP, similarly to Gladys, technically this could be the Patrick Mahomes award for this particular for this particular division. But I'm going to go out. I'm going to venture out, and I'm going to say that this division will have co-division MVPs between Justin Herbert and Devontae Adams. I think I think Herbie's going to throw for about 5,300 yards, probably around 45 TDs, 10 receptions. I think Devontae Adams is going to put up a measly 102 reception type season, 1,400 yards, and maybe like 7 touchdowns.
Jimmy Garoppolo ever had a receiver go for 1,000 yards?
I think this will be his first.
Okay.
Y'all acting like, yo.
It's funny. It's funny. Justin Herbert has this amazing season and missed the playoffs. That's crazy. You know what that sounds like to me?
Why do you
fraud?
No, that sounds like my man's winning games 37-35 and having to put up like 450 yards and 4 touchdowns per game.
Fraud. Fraud alert.
I look at that Chargers roster and tell me where, like, I don't know. You watch Chargers games and Justin Herbert isn't the problem.
Hey man, I just know he was.
Can you say that though? You
He's
watch
not.
Chargers game. The quarterback position.
All I know is he walked into the locker room up 27 and he went back with an L. That's all I know.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about the National Football League. When situations like that happens, when you go up 27 and still lose, the start of that blame, there's a tree of blame. The quarterback and the offense is probably like 4th or 5th. Yes,
I would agree with you had they not only scored 3 points the whole second half. They only scored 3 points the whole second half.
No, guys, he don't care about that. He don't care.
You're up 20. You're up 27 as a National Football League defense. When the offense spots you 27 points, dog, you can give up 2 touchdowns and you're perfectly okay.
Didn't they have like a 0.5 turnover differential? So defense wasn't. I mean, they only scored 3 points second half. Come on.
Hilarious. But
the
breakout player. Anyone got a breakout player?
Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy.
Someone has to catch passes and
exactly. Hamler's down. Patrick's out.
I can see it. See it. What about you, Danny?
I always forget his last name. How you say his last name? Greg in Denver. Greg Dulcich.
Dulcich.
Yeah, and he's my dynasty tight end. So.
Why do you listen? I see what you're doing. Every breakout player we've chosen, they happen to be from your fantasy team. I see.
No, I don't have Jerry Jeudy.
No. Greg
you didn't choose Jerry Jeudy. You choose Greg. I chose
Greg Dulcich. Yeah. Your weak ass fantasy dynasty team is not winning the championship no more. You're going to enjoy this little run that you have last year. I can't wait till you get the belt so you can have that. But just know after this year, it's not happening, Captain. Your roster is not that. You just
my roster. If Justin Herbert is who you say he is, then I'm all right. Then I am okay. Johnson. I do have Quentin Johnson. I drafted him this year.
Yeah, whatever. You got.
Listen, if he is who you say he is.
If I had to choose a breakout player for this division, I'm actually going to go Quentin Johnson, believe it or not. I think he's actually going to be a very good addition in that San Diego, in that Los Angeles Chargers offense. I think Keenan Allen, this is probably his last good year in his prime, and I think this is also going to be the emergence of Quentin Johnson. I think they just paid Mike Williams, and I think they kind of know that Keenan Allen's on the decline and probably up out of here soon. So would not surprise me if Quentin Johnson turns out to be an absolute stud at the wide receiver position. And my breakout player too, although I don't know if this is really a breakout player since he already kind of broke out, would be Javonte Williams. I think he has
another member of the Ronald Isley Dynasty Fantasy team. You just naming my roster, baby. Come on. Yeah, what you talking about?
Yeah,
what you talking about, baby?
Yeah, I've seen your roster play. It ain't all that.
What are you talking about? That's my team.
Listen, your championship roster. Your championship run to a Dynasty League championship last year was eerily similar to the Toronto Raptors championship run in 2019.
Hey,
you are the Raptors in 2019. You are looking at the fucking Golden State Warriors.
Hey man, I got some trades up I'm working on some trades. This roster just getting better. We just getting better.
You know what? Anything else on the AFC West? Because we're gonna come back to Dynasty. Anything else on the AFC West before we start? Big deal or no deal? Because I feel like some of these topics gonna be bad. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is one of my favorite segments that we have on this show. It is Big Deal or No Deal. We're going to run through some topics throughout the sports world, and we're just going to ask if these are big deals or no deals. So let's start with probably the biggest sporting event of the weekend. It was a boxers match. Errol Spence Jr. or Errol Spence, I should say, versus Terrence Bud Crawford. If you watch this fight, coming into this fight, everyone was very excited. Two evenly matched, undefeated champions. Test to see mano a mano, who's the best in the world right now. If you watch that fight, undisputedly, Terrence Crawford whooped Errol Spence's ass and eventually won by what I believe was TKO. They called it.
Yeah.
Danny, start with you. Big deal or no deal? This fight.
Not a big. I'm not a big boxing guy, not a big MMA guy, but goodness gracious, that was a big deal. He beat that man's ass. That's all I got.
Gladys, what about you?
I abstain. I don't watch boxing or MMA. I can't watch two men beat each other up. I can watch.
Yeah, neither can I.
I can go outside and watch that.
All right.
Not have to pay for it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say this. This is a big deal. These two were arguably two of the 5 or 10 best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. I think you could have asked 1,000 people how they thought that fight was going to go. Maybe 5 of them would have said Bud Crawford was going to whoop Errol Spence's ass the way he did. I'm going to showcase the duality of man here.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with saying this. For two incredible boxers in the prime of their career to go mano a mano in the boxing is both rare and commendable. Remember, when Floyd and Pacquiao fought, a lot of people said they were out of their prime. They should have fought when they were in their prime. It kind of devalued the fight a little bit. These were two boxers in their prime who decided to get it on in the ring. So a lot of people, of course, with that being said, thought that this would be very evenly matched. The problem is, in combative sports, whether it's MMA and boxing, fights can go one of two ways. Very, very close or very, very one-sided. This was one-sided. Errol had him a couple rounds early. Once Bud figured it out, he took him to Pound Town.
Pause.
See, look at you. You making it that way.
All right. Yeah,
you making it that way.
You're
Took
right.
him to Pound Town. So let me show so I think it should be commendable that Errol Spence took the fight, that Errol and Bud both took the fight, stuck to the fight, and gave the fans a good fight. Now, let me flip the coin on the other side of duality, man. Stephen A. Smith came out and said to the people, I think Errol Spence should maybe consider retiring from the sport of boxing after this type of ass whooping. I heard that and I said, man, that's a little dramatic, Stephen A. And then I got thinking about it a little bit. If the world saw me, especially the baddies in the crowd, because y'all know this fight was in Vegas. They had it out. If the baddies saw me get pummeled like that, get my ass whooped like that, I might have to sit the fuck down for a little bit. You want to know how I know that Errol Spence might really contemplate? Because they asked him, Errol, you got that rematch clause in your contract. He said, yeah, I hope we run it back. Maybe at a bigger, at 159, because Errol Spence is naturally a bigger guy, so he can go all the way down to Crawford, to more Crawford's weight class, but he's naturally a bigger fighter. He said, yeah, no, we're going to wait. We may have to try this again at a bigger weight class. You know what I heard?
Help.
Yo, dog, I need Jesus, the Lord and Savior, and all of my Holy Ghost. I gotta reevaluate some things. What's funny about this fight was that coming in, the main spiciness was between Bud Crawford and Errol Spence's trainer. Oh. Imagine that. Your trainer, your coach, and the person you beefing with kind of going back and forth at the pregame stuff, and then demands that you fighting against, whoop your ass. With your trainer in mind, as he's just swinging on you. Yo, dog, Errol Spence, all the world and respect to you to not only taking that fight, but handling it post-fight the way you did. Hey, brother, go ahead. Go down into the DR. spend you a couple thousand, couple of them nice means, and get your mind and your body and your spirit right, my brother. Come back harder than ever. Shout out Errol Spence. Shout out Bud Crawford. You a bad man. If we can get a Tank Davis Terrence Crawford fight, that'd be awesome. But I don't think weight class is aligned to that. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All right, next. Going back to the NFL. So Jerry Jones is telling Zach Martin, yo, bruh, I got to pay Micah Parsons before I can pay you. So this, you holding out because you want more money, take that bullshit elsewhere. Gladys, is this a big deal or no deal at all?
It's a huge deal. Anytime. Okay, first of all, Jerry Jones, Irsay, I don't understand why. I understand why people play for him. He's giving them money. But when I hear Jerry Jones, I see that Jerry Jones is standing in the crowd when the little girl's trying to get into school. That's what Jerry Jones I see every time he talks. But Jerry Jones is standing in the crowd, not letting the little black girl get into school because, she doesn't deserve it.
Well, he was just there because he heard some commotion and walked over.
Yeah, he just walked over to see what was going on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jerry. It's a huge deal because Zach Martin, first of all, has more seniority. He's probably better in the locker room than Micah Parsons. And you're going to tell him, hey, I'm sorry. I'm waiting to pay Micah Parsons. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe that won't. I just think this whole what's the word I want to use that is not disruptive? This whole owner mentality.
Populated?
Yeah. It's like, dude, we know you got money. We know you want to run a team. Shut up. Shut up and just run the team. You know what I mean? Don't go back into that crowd. Just go back in that crowd. You know that like Homer Simpson thing where he backs up into the thing and he covers. Oh, yeah. He goes. That's what Jerry Jones needs to be doing. That's what he should have done when he was in the crowd with the little girl. That's what he should be doing now. Shut up. We don't care who you're going to pay. We don't care where you're going to pay him. Your team is going to tank this year.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up. You are not going to see a Super Bowl before you die. Shut up. Big deal.
Jeez.
Danny, what about you?
Oh, this is hilarious. I cackled when I heard this. This is your number one team in the NFC. Can't even get their roster straight. I get what Jerry's saying. Zach Martin be 33 in November, but again, you don't say this out loud. No. You don't tell a first ballot Hall of Famer, "Hey dog, I got nothing for you. I got to pay this. I got to go pay somebody else." You don't say that in public. That's the only thing. It's a big deal in that regard. Zach Martin is professional. He will show up. I don't think he'll come to camp. He'll probably come again, week 1 for the season and go from there. I mean, but and at the same time, Jerry's not wrong. The price of a premium pass rusher, you just don't say it out loud.
You don't say it out loud.
You don't say it out loud.
You see Michael Parsons hit Dak today? Hit him low.
Oh, man. Your number one seed does not respect a man named Dakota. That's crazy. Who would have saw that coming?
You really feel some type of way that I have the Cowboys one
His
game.
His name is Dakota.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He is named after the most useless states in the union. What do you think he gonna do?
Hey, there's a lot of oil that comes from them states. A lot of first off, stop doing that to Dak. Stop.
Dakota.
Disrespectful. I'm on your ass.
Dakota. Pause. That's the
Oh my gosh, yo, play me.
Dakota.
Play me. Let me tell you something, Jerry. I'm looking to the camera when I say this. Sometimes you got to say what you got to say, bro. No, I'm with you, Jerry. Listen, y'all playing Jerry, but from what I've witnessed in the Cowboys organization, Jerry Jones, if you produce, he gonna pay you.
Jerry's not wrong in what he's saying. Who's gonna give a new contract to a 33-year-old guard?
Jerry is saying, yo, Zach Martin, I have paid you. You have been at the top of the league before as a starting guard in this league. But brother, that is when you was late 20s. There wasn't even a 3 in your age now. Now you're 30, whatever. You're getting up there in age. Like, he's probably looking at Zach Martin like, yo, dog, tell me honestly, how many years do you even want to play in the NFL?
And that's
but couldn't he be like having this conversation behind closed doors?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess
Why?
so, but
is he trying to make Micah Parsons feel better about himself, or is he trying to put Micah Parsons on his side?
I honestly don't even think it's in Jerry's. I think it's not even fully. I don't think he has Micah Parsons in mind when he's saying that. I think he wants. I think he's mostly explaining it to media folks. I feel like if he took Zach Martin in the back room, yo, bruh, listen, Zach, you have been nothing but a consummate professional. You have been a great player for us for years. I understand that you want to get paid. We can maybe work on some numbers to where we can get you to a number where you feel comfortable. That also helps the team. Like that's probably he could have pulled him in the back and told him that. But then you know what happens is, let's just say they work on a deal that Zach feels good about, Jerry feels good about. But when it comes out to the media say, "Oh, Zach Martin's not even he's being underpaid. Like he should be at the top of his position in the way he's making his money. You see, he's been protecting Dak's blind side for years and years and years. And now
then
Zach
Jerry should come out with what he said. Then he can come out with what he said.
I think this is Jerry's way of getting on it early. Like, yo, dog, don't worry about Zach, because if you know me and you know how I run this ship here in Dallas, we're gonna make sure my man's paid. But as of right now,
but he didn't say that.
Right now, like Zach, I want you to know when we start these negotiations, it's not only you we got to get paid. That's got to get paid. We got this dude, Micah Parsons,
and if I'm Zach Martin, what the that got to do with me?
Exactly. We're talking my money. We're not talking Parsons' money. We're talking my money.
Parsons' money. We talking
and you know what?
You know
what he can say? Okay, cool, Zach. If you don't want to come play, we can pull one of these young guards, start him young. Might have some growing pains. We'll figure that out. So we'll have the money to pay Micah Parsons. Or you can shut the fuck up, take this money that we are going to give you that's going to have you near the top, but not maybe at the top of your class. That way we can still pay you and pay this stud that we have at defensive end, and we can try to keep the nucleus of the team together as we try to win a championship. So you tell me, Mr. 30-something-year-old who's made X, Y, and Z millions and millions and millions of dollars, do you want to build a team with a chance to win a Super Bowl? Maybe take a few less, or you can go right down the street to Houston, brother. They will pay you all the money in the world to protect CJ Stroud. Good fucking luck to you. He could come out and say that because that's probably the truth of what he wants to say. But if he says that, people looking at him funny. Oh, Jerry, you can't say this is Zach Martin.
Zach Martin, I think say, hey, how many times did your boy get sacked last year? How many times do you want to see him sacked this year? You think he was throwing interceptions because he was throwing the ball quick last year trying to get it out? You ain't seen nothing yet, sweetheart. He's already thrown like 3 interceptions in practice. The team thinks that he knows. True. I'm gonna do the oopsie. Whoops. Let him go through.
That's something you got to put. That's something you got to consider when you're putting on that GM hat. Like, yo,
yeah.
And I like Jerry is one of the more. I don't want to say respectful, but I want to say he's one of the more honest owners because he does he does pay his people. I'm not gonna sit here and let y'all say that Jerry don't be paying his people. Jerry,
we never said that. We just said you don't say that in public. That's it.
But the thing is, he's got to say it because if you don't, and they come to a deal that to the masses is underpaying Zach Martin. Now Zach Martin's looking at it like, yo, am I getting played here? But no, tell the masses, yo, I gotta pay Micah Parsons too. And then I'm like, when you inform the masses, yo, I also got to pay Micah Parsons and I got to pay you. You know, the masses is gonna say, no matter what deal Zach Martin gets, they made this deal knowing that they also have to pay Micah Parsons. So this deal makes sense. You got to control the narrative. It's
don't
PR
say
game.
That out loud.
Okay,
just don't say that out loud.
And plus, now Micah Parsons saying, "Yeah, you're going to pay me now.
Yes,
you're going
to
pay
me
the large now."
Y'all act like that brother didn't know he was getting paid after a year.
Yeah, but
I
now
think he added
has
just like
more
a couple more zeros onto that.
Yeah,
what he was getting paid now.
He has all the leverage.
He has all the leverage right now.
I mean,
yo,
but
Derek,
still,
if I become a free agent, you don't even understand the Brinks truck money I am about to bring in. Yeah, you better pay me now, Jerry, because it's loyalty. I love being here. You treat me good. Y'all, I think y'all overlook at the fact that a lot of players who go play in Dallas love playing in Dallas and love Jerry Jones.
Oh no,
Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Jerry take care of his people.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry take care of his people. Zach Martin, you know Jerry Jones take care of his people. He gonna take care of you. But listen, man, if you got to choose between you or Micah Parsons, well, everyone outside the offensive line room is telling him you need to go pay Micah Parsons. I'm sorry. So you got to look inward, Zach Martin, and then look outward to your organization. That's all I'm saying. That's all
Hold on,
I'm saying.
before I'm just trying to look up the highest paid defensive players. Aaron Donald, 31 million. TJ Watt, 28 million. What do you think Michael gonna try to come in at?
30 a year. 30 a
Nah,
year.
he
Yeah.
gonna want more
He
than
going
Aaron.
more than that. He going way more than that.
Okay.
Maybe it'd be 30 a year if Jerry didn't go out and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna pay my
gonna
first
pay
ballot
more."
Hall of Fame
Yeah.
guard for Micah." But now,
He's
nah,
gonna get
dog.
way more than Aaron
Price,
Donald.
No, that's
price of the
yo,
price of the brick
Micah
going
Parsons,
up.
But the thing is, if Micah Parsons resets the market, none of us are going to sit here and be surprised at the fact that Micah Parsons reset the market. You know why? Because he's good enough to reset the market.
Yeah, I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying, if you're Jerry, from a leverage perspective, that 30 just turned to 35 a year. That
Okay.
$5 million, that $5
Jerry
million is
give
a
him
lot.
5 a year out of his pocket. Hey, yo, dog. Don't even count it towards my book.
All
Just
right.
a little
When
business.
when your number one seed going for broke, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Let's get on to this one. So the Eagles released their Kelly green uniforms. Danny, I feel like this big deal or no deal should just be you and you only. Is this a big deal or no
Exactly.
deal?
Biggest deal of the entire month of July and August. The Kelly Greens came back in 2010 when Michael Vick was the quarterback, but they weren't the Kelly Greens. These are the Kelly Greens from the 90s. I do not like buying football jerseys. I will be buying a Jalen Hurts Kelly Green jersey. It is no question. Take my money. These are beautiful. The only jerseys that have been released this offseason that can compare to the Kelly Greens are the jerseys the Seahawks released. Those are beautiful. If you're going to put in the Oilers, the ones that the Titans are going to wear, those are beautiful. But the Kelly Greens, and they're going to wear them against the Bills and the Dolphins. It's going to be beautiful. I cannot wait. It is like outside of the powder blues, there is not a better color than the Kelly Green.
So what's going to be funnier? When Tua Tagovailoa throws his 5th touchdown pass in a blowout 42-10 victory over the Eagles, or when Josh Allen runs for his 2nd touchdown in a 24-7 win over the Eagles.
I think it's going to be. I think the Kelly Green uniform is going to look great when Hassan Reddick knocks Tua out of the game.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it's going to look even better when Jalen Carter takes Josh Allen and sends him to hell.
So my thing is y'all's Kelly Green uniforms is the equivalent to the Lakers Black Mamba uniforms. Like when you put these on,
now you're being disrespectful.
When you put these on, you cannot lose. And if you lose,
okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you were trying to say something else. Yes, you cannot lose in the Kelly Green.
Because when the Lakers put on the Black Mamba uniform, you can't lose. Like you cannot. Now
lose.
Yes, and those losses it makes it worse because you got on the nice uniforms. I'm saying those Kelly Green uniforms are playing the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Do not get rid of the building.
The Dolphins Sunday Night Football. I'm here. I'm gonna try to go to that joint.
I'm
getting the Jalen Hurts Kelly Green jersey.
It's in Philly?
This is yes in Philly. Yeah, they're only wearing them in Philly. We ain't taking that shit on the road. No, baby, that's a Philly special. Oh, and they brought back the winged helmet, the Kelly Green wing helmet to go with it. Oh!
We'll see.
Beautiful.
We'll see. Mama, there goes that man out of ESPN. So it is reported that Mark Jackson is out at ESPN, and now the NBA on ESPN A team will be Mark Green, Doris Burke, and Doc Rivers. Maybe I should whisper that one.
And Curry for 3. Oh man,
Gladys.
Yes.
Is this a big deal or a no deal?
It's a huge deal. Who's going to be listening to it? Who's going to be listening now? Seriously, it's a huge deal. ESPN is like gutting. They're gutting like the best. Their college lineup. Did you hear the college lineup is going to be? And I'm hoping this isn't also they could get Pat McAfee. This isn't any way have to do a Pat McAfee salary to come to ESPN, but college done. Basketball now, NBA. Not that I listen to it that much, but done. I'm not, and this is nothing against Doris Burke, a lot, but I mean, come on.
Can we talk about how mid Pat McAfee is, or can we save that for?
Thank you.
He's not mid. He just garners a large following every time he talks.
Do you listen to Pat McAfee?
Here and there. I will say I notice a certain
Demographic.
that
Oh,
Yeah.
the Barstool Bros. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not like Pat McAfee be on some bullshit. He be talking his shit. Like he be informational. I like his content.
Okay.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm going to give, because Mike Breen is a Hall of Famer and Doris Burke is fine and also a Hall of Famer. I'm going to
not Doris Burke Elite Milk.
listen. That is elite milk.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
She 58.
Okay. Doris. I know you can still give him buckets, Doris. Stop playing with him. Y'all listen. So now y'all playing with my baby Doris.
No, no, would never.
I just didn't expect that.
Yeah,
fine.
that was out of left
And
field.
she be knowing her basketball too. Like,
There's
yeah,
no basketball.
you tell me how he's supposed to come down on that screen, or he's supposed to pin and then go ahead.
I just can't wait till.
There's some pictures of her that she looks really good. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance, but I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough without hearing the "Mama There Goes That Man" by Mark Jackson, or hear Jeff Van Gundy go on the most random rants about whatever. There's not going to be that back and forth between Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy about if Rihanna is fine and how he could downplay Savannah and he would knock it out.
And I hit it out the park.
Yeah. And what's funny enough is every brother that heard that was like, "Yo, Mark Jackson ain't tell a lie, because I would too, but you not supposed to say this during an NBA Finals game." Like
Jerry, you're not supposed to say this at all. LeBron is too powerful to be lusting for his wife in NBA circles.
Yeah,
no,
but
sir.
It's Mark Jackson. What Mark Jackson is saying it like, "Yo, dog, LeBron, what am I going to do with your wife? Like, I'm not like
you put that in the text chain with your homies, and that's it. You don't say that.
And hope LeBron.
And hope none of them. You hope Maverick Carter not watching, because he everywhere.
You see that until you see Savannah at the ESPYs. You got to be like, damn, I see why he playing. He in year 20. She is serving my man good.
Hey, I just hope. I just can't wait till Doc Rivers gets the Sixers game. He's like, "Oh, Joel need to take his big ass on the block." You see, James, look how fat he is.
That first Sixers game that Doc calls, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, I mean, when I coached him, I mean, I used to tell him back in the day, like, he could be a problem." And somebody's gonna be like, "Well, damn, Doc, if you told him this much when you coached him, why ain't y'all win shit?"
You know what's funny? It's gonna be like, "It's so nice seeing James playing defense tonight."
Yeah, you can tell James was definitely real energized for this game.
He's engaged tonight.
Yeah, now what you trying to say, Doc? My man don't be engaged.
I don't think I've ever seen James this involved on the defensive end.
Yeah, at all. All right, quick ISO on me. I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna pass it to my man Danny Ocean to speak on the WNBA. This week we had the was it the Belgium? I think it was the Belgium Grand Prix for Formula One.
It was.
Yeah, the Belgium Grand Prix. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. At this point in the Formula One season, I wonder if Red Bull being this dominant is good for Formula One or not.
Sucks.
This is not fun at all. This product that they're putting on grids is not fun to watch. I'm so glad, Gladys, that they are going on a summer break, because I could listen. If I gotta wake up at 6 a.m. on the West Coast again to watch Max Verstappen from any place on the track, whether it's P1, P4, P9, P14, still come out and win the race, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. This shit is, imagine if you were playing on 2K and one team had all the sliders up and everyone had their sliders up to about 50 or 60. Like, it's not fun, because we know what's going to happen. When you get hot, you're just going to start cooking, and this is not fun anymore. I kind of wish Red Bull would just take their ball, go home, and come back the last couple races, because, they're Danny, put it like this. In the Constructor Championship, Max Verstappen is like 150 points ahead of the rest of the field.
Jeez.
in the constructors championship, well, that's the drivers championship. In the constructors championship, like the team championships, Red Bull is up like close to 200 on the next closest team, which is Mercedes. Like this is
Lewis Hamilton,
not,
baby.
yeah. Shout out team Lewis Hamilton, who ran a good race, but still wasn't like this Formula One product they're putting out is not good.
So bad.
It bugs me because they changed the rules to have more parity in Formula One after Lewis Hamilton and Red Bull won like 7 world championships in a row. I mean, and Mercedes won 7 in a row.
Right.
So they changed it. They changed some of the format to give a little bit more parity throughout the grid, implemented like a spending limit, spending cap and all that. And what's happened is Red Bull has come back and designed this fucking rocket ship of a car that can't nobody else on the grid beat. Like it's not fun. Even their B-list driver, who like
it's bad.
It's bad.
I read somewhere it's like down 41% viewership is down 41% because no one's watching because he's gonna win. You know he's gonna win.
It is not fun, bro. It's not
fun. It's not
like everyone's paying attention to now who's coming in second, third, and fourth because that's really where the race is now.
Yeah.
First is already it's not fun. Yo, they're setting a record for like most wins continuously. Like it's not fun. It's not fun. WNBA, Danny, talk to us about where we are lately in the WNBA.
Yeah, few updates. The Aces play tonight at 10. They can clinch a playoff spot tonight with the win. They've only lost 2 games all year. They'll be 23-2 if they win tonight. They play Atlanta in Vegas. That's gonna be a good game. Can't wait to watch that.
What's the update on them potentially breaking the record? That's still up.
We're getting close. I think
I said they were going to finish. How many games they have in the season?
They just changed it. I think it's like 40 something.
And the record is what, 35? 34?
Something like that. I think the Aces are going to break it. Like the Aces.
I had them only losing like 4 games total this season. Like I didn't have them losing many games this season.
Yeah, where we are there. Asia is starting to separate herself as the MVP of the league. So for those who are counting at home, if Asia wins MVP, that'll be 3 MVPs. Probably another defensive player of the year. She's leading in that as well. She's probably going to win finals MVP if they win a championship. She is the face of the league. She is better than Brianna Stewart. Stop having that conversation. I've been talking about Aaliyah Boston, Rookie of the Year. It was a lock. It is no longer a lock. Diamond Miller is on her heels. Diamond is a 2 overall pick from Maryland. Yeah, they were on ESPN just now. They just lost to Connecticut, but the Minnesota Lynx have won 4 out of 6, including loss tonight without Nafisha Collier, their best player. Diamond Miller is on Aaliyah Boston's ass. Indiana, stop playing. Give Aaliyah the ball. It's very simple, but don't worry. Skylar Diggins-Smith will be in Indiana next year, and there will be an adult in the room, and that'll be great. I think that is everything. Yeah. Diamond, Asia. I mean, Aaliyah, Asia. Oh, I am 1 week away from saying the finals matchup will not be Vegas versus New York, but Vegas and Dallas. I am very close to saying Vegas and Dallas. Dallas is the only team that has beaten both Vegas and New York. Dallas can play big. Dallas can play small. Satu Sabali is the most improved player of the year. Dallas has long, lanky defenders to help Arike. Arike is not the best defender, but they have size behind her in case someone drives by her. I just need Arike to be more efficient. There are 4 or 5 shots every game that she takes, and you're like, what are you doing? Granted, some of those are shot clocks running down. She's one of the only ones on the team who can create her own shot, but I'm very close. Dallas played Vegas the other night. Vegas was blowing them out. Dallas went on a 15-0 run, made it a 1-possession game, and then they lost in the end. Dallas is the only team that has been competitive outside of Indiana, but Indiana's not making playoffs. Dallas is the only team that has played Vegas competitively all year. And that's it.
It's a bold statement. I like it.
Shout out to my Sparks, 9-16.
They play tonight. They play tonight against
New York.
Against New York. Don't watch that game. Watch Vegas Atlanta. Watch Vegas Atlanta. That's going to be a fun game.
Hey, did Chelsea Plum get married to Darren Waller before or after he got traded?
Before they got married a month before.
Okay.
They met. Yeah, they met.
You're right, Kyle.
Raiders.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, Kyle was like, no, and then he got traded. And that's all the jokes on him because now they're both not in Vegas. But I thought he was already traded.
No, I believe they got married before he got traded.
Okay. Sorry, Kyle.
Fun times.
Gladys, do you have anything on your heart tonight before we wrap this thing up?
No, because it's just I'm just tired of the owner. Like when I see Irsay and when I see Jones and when I see who's that other guy?
Irsay?
No, I said Irsay. Irsay, Jones. There's like the trifecta of owners who have that for a better thing, master slave. Like I'm paying you, so I own you.
McNair, owner of the Texans.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, that is who it is. Yes, the inmates are running the show. Yeah, it was McNair. I don't understand how they're allowed to be owners, how they're allowed to have a league, how they're allowed to stay. And like Dan Snyder was trash. I totally agree with that. Dan Snyder should not have ever had a team, should not ever be allowed to even walk into a football stadium. But you telling me like this subtle I'm paying you kind of thing isn't as bad. It's as bad. And it just upsets me. Although I'm not going to stop watching football. I'm not going to lie.
Can we shout out Dan Snyder for one thing? And D, we talked about this last week. So the story goes that a couple of weeks ago in the owners meeting, Dan Snyder walks in there with the PowerPoint with all the dirt that he has on the other owners.
That would be awesome.
No, he did. No, he did this. He had a PowerPoint that he showed the owners, like, this is what I have on you. I need y'all to back off.
That's awesome. Okay.
Shout out Dan Snyder. He said, if I die, we all die. Let me sell this team for $6 billion, and y'all going about your business.
Listen,
that's great.
Listen, owners. Listen, I like Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones takes care of his people. I have problems with owners like Bob McNair because they don't view these athletes, as men, as businessmen. He just views them as numbers that fit his payroll.
Dan Gilbert?
Yeah, like Dan Gilbert. like Dan Gilbert. I just think we need more owners like. Funny enough, I think we need more owners
Jacksonville
like
owner.
The Jacksonville owner, like the Kansas City owner.
Yeah.
Truth be told, like the owner of the
Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie.
No, Mark Cuban. That's what I was thinking of. We need more owners like Mark Cuban. People, listen, say what you want. Mark
is cool. Until he's not.
He's more logical than you give him credit for.
Mark Cuban is cool till he's telling the Lakers to amnesty Kobe Bryant.
You can't hold people for previous positions.
He's still previous regimes. He's still there.
All I'm saying is we just listen. These owners are businessmen, so they do want to make sure that they're not losing on this end. But you appreciate the owners who at least try to humanize or in some way humanize the athletes that they're doing business with. That's all this is: business agreements between owners and athletes.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with business. I'm okay with them being a business agreement. I'm not okay with you looking at someone like Chattel. Like you,
exactly. And I think we need to appreciate the owners who they come at it with a business mind, but they do come at it with a little bit more empathy, a little bit more humanization. Jerry Jones, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I'm gonna give him credit because he do be trying to take care of his peoples. And I think there are more owners across sports that do want to take care of their people while also looking at the bigger picture here. And I think if you're an owner if you're a sports fan, that's all you can ask for an owner, because on the flip side, you don't want the owner that's just the coolest guy ever and just gives everyone the money, because you know what you end up with? A lot of Albert Haynesworth contracts, and that's not what anyone needs. But you also don't want to be the owner who don't want to pay anyone, and you have a whole lot of Shohei Ohtani type of situations where like every postseason you're in the headlines for, are you going to trade this guy or are you going to pay this guy? You want that owner that's going to pay people when they need to be paid, when they deserve to be paid, but also don't be afraid to take the hard stance. Like, yo, I'm not paying you because we may have someone behind you that we think deserves their shot. So either you take less money or we're going to let you pursue your career elsewhere. Like, I think that's fair. I don't know. I just think it's fair. Gladys, where can the people find you at? On Instagram, Twitter? What's the username they can find you at?
Oh, I hate Twitter so much, but they can find me on Twitter at Gladys L. Tyler. They can find me on X. Goddess L Tyler. Tomorrow I will be on the Front Yard Fantasy show.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I always lose. It's not really sweet. It's becoming demoralizing, actually. But I still play. I'm still in there. I haven't given up.
Sounds like fantasy football to me.
Whatever. So tomorrow I'll do that, and then sometime this week, hopefully, I will finish the NFC West for going for 2 NFC West fantasy relevant fantasy relevant players in the NFC West, which, trust me, is harder than it looks. Arizona, thank you very much. So that should be coming out sometime soon, this week, hopefully, but it's not easy selling. And NFC West sucks, guys. It really does.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
yeah. Don't go there for your fantasy. Don't go there for your fantasy. Don't. Unless you're playing best ball, Kyler Murray, best ball. I'm saying late round Kyler Murray.
If you were looking to maybe do some mock drafts, should folks be looking to pull from, you think?
AFC North.
NFC North.
Okay. AFC North.
AFC North.
Except, okay, here's the thing. If you're playing redraft, AFC North. If you're playing best ball, AFC North Bengals, and in AFC West Kansas City. Get players from both of those, because in week 17 they play each other, and the over-under is going to be like 50,000. And if you got any of those players, best ball is going to put them in, and you're okay. But AFC North, it's stocked. It's chock full of good players, both IDP and offensive players. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Steeler fan, and most of the players are Steelers. Which, Burrow. Here's my question. Burrow went down with a calf injury on a leg that he already had a calf thing on. So was there a prior injury before that? He already had what is they called? Like that calf was already covered before he went down. So are we talking about an injury that he already had?
I think it was. I think it was like a strain of like some soft tissue that was probably already giving him some issues. Probably just like either really badly cramped up on him or strained that muscle. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this will be one of the things where they hold him out the preseason. He'll be back.
They should.
He'll be back.
He's gonna throw to Jamar Chase all the time anyway. Doesn't matter. Hold it out preseason. Him and Chase been playing forever with each other. Didn't mean it like that. Playing together forever. So
nope, it's all good. D has been dropping bombs all day.
Danny, let the people know where they can find you at.
Find me on the X app. Danny Ocean 41. Find me on X.
Yes, sir.
Not that X, not 3 X's, just 1 X. Danny Ocean.
Yeah. And you can find me also on the X app at Los Demix. That's LOSDEEMIX. Also, make sure you follow on Instagram as well. Make sure you're following the Speak On It Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We be out here. And speaking of X's,
nope, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, please do. Yep. Do it.
I recently started following one of my exes on IG recently.
Why?
I mean,
were you stalking her?
No, it's like been like 10 years. So like we not even
Joe,
on that
are you Joe Goldberg?
Did she look good?
No, it's I don't know. I don't see her in that way anymore. I followed her because I want to follow the downfall.
That's like a guy saying, "Oh, I don't know, Brad Pitt's good looking because he's Brad Pitt."
No, I don't see her in that way. I followed her because I want to see the downfall with my own 2 eyes. I'm not rooting for her.
Oh, okay. She's in the gutter, and you want to enjoy it. Understood. So she broke up with you, is what I'm hearing.
That's not petty at all.
She cheated on me and won't admit that she cheated.
Oh yeah, we need to see her. Yo, drop her at in the private chat. I want to see her downfall too.
Yeah,
me too. What is it?
She got a baby now. I saw that. I was like,
oh, that doesn't mean she's in the gutter just because she had a baby.
We gotta take this offline.
All right, y'all. Have a great night. We'll catch you next week.
Listen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. So make sure you speak on it and speak on some things, because life is short and you may not know if you get that opportunity again. Gladys, I want to thank you again for your time. Thank you, Kyle, and everyone else for pulling up. We'll be back next week for another episode of Speak On It. I'm the bro.
Who are you doing next week? Who are you guys doing next week?
We're doing the NFC East next week.
Nice. I'll be there. Oh,
It'll
that-
be very spicy. It'll be very
that is
spicy.
what I'm
Very
hoping for.
spicy.
Yeah.
Thank you
I'm
guys.
the bro with the fro. My man Danny Ocean. Gladys, thank you for being here. Speak on it, episode 110. Peace.
Speak on an _pod.
Speak
Twitter.
on it,
I mean X, TikTok. That's where you find us.
Whatever it is. The X.